Howdy, folks. Welcome to the Horrible Film School, a scary place where hairy men watch scary movies. I'm Chris, joined today by a fan who is bound to have a phantasm orgasm, Ryan Hootie.
What's up, fella? Super excited to be here. This is such a great film. The tall man will be talked about, and he will be loved.
I'm also joined by a slightly less than average height man, my brother, Joey.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm cosplaying as Amy from Congo today. I've got the chesticles breathing in the wind.
Today's lesson: do not pursue the girl of your dreams. Keep your eyes out for these horror tropes, as we will. Carnage candy, the jump scare, killer plays possum, nudity, splitting up, and technical difficulties. Today we play Judge, Jury, and Executioner to 1988's Phantasm II. Heavy, spoilers ahead. Grab that red rum bingo card and let's get fantastic.
Let's get into it, fellas. Start off with a little recap here. Years after surviving his encounter with the sinister tall man, Mike Pearson, now a mental patient, still has nightmares about the evil mortician. Upon being released from the institution, Mike and his friend Reggie set out to track down the tall man and in his murderous and demented practices. Along the journey, Mike and Reggie meet Liz Reynolds, a pretty young woman who has a psychic connection to both Mike and the tall man. The three must band together to destroy the tall man before it's too late.
Liz also has a pretty rockin' mullet. This is like the second movie in a row we've had somebody with a really kick-ass mullet. What is it about women from this time period and, like, those bangs?
There's still some ladies in our hometown rocking those long braids, so it's stuck around.
Yeah, one of them gave me a biscuit from Bojangles the other day.
Phantasm II is a 1988 American science, fantasy, action, horror film, and a sequel to Phantasm I in 1979. Let's talk about who created this film. Writer and director Don Coscarelli, who you may know from Phantasm 1 through 4 and Bubba Hotep.
I think you mean you may know, because I ain't got a fucking clue who this is, bro. Hey, it's me, Don Coscarelli. I'm making the Phantasm movies 1 through 4, not number 5 though.
Number 5 was a fan GoFundMe, and it's seen better days. The tall man is played by Angus Scrimm, who really only did Phantasm.
I wonder why. He did Phantasm, and in the summers when he wasn't working on Phantasm, he played basketball for the Lithuanian basketball team. This guy's fucking huge. Tall man really doesn't do it justice.
And a shout out to my brother. Angus Scrimm is also in a classic movie called Chopping Mall.
Classic in what sense?
Sounds like an Oscar winner.
Like classic in like Coca-Cola classic or like Crystal Pepsi classic?
Crystal Pepsi classic,
yeah,
definitely.
Classic to the people who experienced it in its time, but totally forgotten by everybody else since.
Liked by 6 out of fucking 7 billion people.
But those 6 people fucking love it.
Mike Pearson is played by James LeGros.
Fucking Roach, I called it.
Who also played in Zodiac and Point Break.
Yeah, he was actually in the remake or the reimagining of Point Break. He was like one of the CIA people or something, I think.
Reggie is played by Reggie Bannister, who, again, you would only know from Phantasm.
The fucking legend himself. He's the best guy in the whole movie, in my opinion. He's A+ in my book. How many male leads in any type of movie could pull off a skullet?
He wasn't trying to be funny. It was just straight sex appeal.
He has the best like facial reactions I've ever seen on an actor. Like, the guy doesn't even have to speak most of the time. He can just make a face. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the picture I sent y'all, but I literally took the picture of his face and put it as your profile picture in my phone.
That's a good representation. That dude has a great resting face.
He does. He's pretty great.
Moving along, Liz Reynolds is played by Paula Irvine, who also appeared in Beverly Hills 90210 and Santa Barbara, which was a daytime drama. Interesting enough, Paula only acted from 1987 to 1994 when she retired from the industry.
Jeez, I wonder why.
She made her money and got out. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Would she make like $7 in this movie?
Don't be shaming this talented lady.
Talented?
She's so talented. So talented. She was telepathic
powers.
powers.
I feel like they could have, half the movie, they could have put a mannequin in her place and just like, it would have been this exact same.
Did you see her drawings? They were fantastic.
That was great. Too bad it's within the first 3 minutes of the movie.
And the final member of this cast that we must bring up is Alchemy, played by Samantha Phillips. She has appeared in A Weekend at Bernie's 2 and the Busty Cop series.
Yeah, I think she actually made her way as a model before she got into acting. I read a little.
And then she became an adult film actress.
Oh, my ass. What's her name?
Samantha Phillips.
Is that her stage name?
In her Busty Cop series, yes.
All right, I got to make a note. I need some more research.
In the Phantasm II documentary, which can be found on YouTube, she's in it, and she claims to have had over 11 boob jobs in her lifetime. And finally, I have to bring up this team because they are very near and dear to my heart. The special effects were created by K&B EFX, who also did Evil Dead 2 and From Dusk Till Dawn, just to name a few.
Is that Nicotero and those guys? The Walking Dead guys?
Those guys are phenomenal.
Very good at their jobs.
Yeah, I actually made a note in here giving props to special makeup effects artist Mark Shostrom. He worked on
shout out.
Yeah, he worked on the Evil Dead as well, and as you can see in the movie in some of the special effects, because they look just like some of the characters from the movie. Worked on the first 2 Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Writer-director Don Coscarelli considered the first film's ending to be conclusive, which is why he didn't want to make a sequel.
What'd he do? Just say fuck it after the second one and just start pumping them out?
But he had what he described as a breakthrough when he realized he could start the film immediately after the previous film's scene. Final scene, sorry. Universal Studios bought the rights to Phantasm, allocating $3 million to the sequel. This was the lowest budget of any of their films in the 1980s. However, it was the highest budget of any of the 5 Phantasm films.
I could see it probably had more budget in its one film than the rest had put together.
That's probably a very good take. The first film's budget was only $300,000.
Wow.
Once Universal took over the rights to Phantasm, they wanted to make it like a Friday the 13th Nightmare on Elm Street franchise for a good reason. But Universal wanted a working actor to play the role of Mike, due to Michael Baldwin, who was in the first film as Mike, taking a break from acting in the years after the first film's release. This caused some serious fan backlash that I just do not understand.
This isn't even a famous Baldwin. This isn't one of the famous Baldwin brothers. This is just some Baldwin guy.
So was this the child in the flashback scene?
Yeah.
Yep, that was him. I mean, from the way the fans reacted, you would have think they recast Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead. I mean, people were just freaking out, man. I just didn't get. I think James LeGros did a better job than Michael Baldwin myself.
I feel like that's probably, I mean, from our perspective as an outsider to the series looking in, they said the Baldwin guy hadn't acted in 10 years. Neither had Reggie, the guy who played Reggie. So why wouldn't you get someone considered a seasoned actor or somebody on the up and up?
Brad Pitt auditioned for the part of Mike. However, Coscarelli went with LeGros instead because he didn't think Brad Pitt was right for the part. In another piece of casting What If, Jeffrey Tambor auditioned for the role of Reggie, but lost out to Reggie Bannister.
Ayy.
The last piece I have here before we get into the actual movie itself is I want to talk about the box office for a quick second because this movie didn't make a lot of money, but there's a reason behind that. It only made about $7.5 million in the box office.
Yeah, there is a reason behind it.
In July 1988, this was the box office for July. Coming to America, wow. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Die Hard. 3
bangers. Rocky Marciano ain't shit.
And with that, let's get into Phantasm 1988, the sequel.
His daddy call him Cassius Clay. I'm going to call him Cassius Clay.
The film opens with Liz going through her diary and explaining her visions of Reggie and Mike, plus her learning of the Tall Man. And this thing is beautiful.
Yeah, this is like some really well put together college students' senior project or whatever.
So essentially she's watching the first movie and just drawing it for us? Is that what was happening?
Yeah, it's basically storyboards of the first movie. That's what you're looking at.
She's a new character, right? She's not in the first movie.
Yeah, she's a completely new character.
All right. Do you think they put her in here to kind of like shoehorn in having like a love interest?
Absolutely. 100% what that was. The studio also made the director, Don, like make it more understandable, and I think Liz helped that world kind of connect itself a little bit. The first one was all over the damn place.
You're going to come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, and you're going to tell me I need to do this to my movie. Away with you.
He's cosplaying Amy from Congo.
I'm getting it on the show.
For the audience, Joey is shirtless right now, so that's fun.
Wouldn't they make Congo too, and they recast Amy with a different actress? How are you going to feel?
I'm going to
be outraged?
Right. That movie won't make it to theaters, I promise you.
The occurrences from the first film are shown in Liz's scrapbook, with the epic line of "boy" before Mike gets pulled into the closet.
Now, is this a common occurrence in the first movie where he calls him boy the entire time? I mean, I understand he is a boy.
No.
But it's like, in this movie, he makes it a point to call him boy over and over and over.
It's probably one of the most memorable things of the first one is him just saying "boy" a lot. Yeah. It's kind of a tall man's thing. It's pretty damn cool, Joey, all right?
Hey, I didn't say it wasn't.
So, Reggie fights the tall man's little creatures in the kitchen and turns on the gas stove.
To harken back a little bit before that, how they transition from the first movie into the second movie, he pulls, or one of the little Ewoks pull Mike through the mirror, right?
Yes.
And that's how the first movie
you don't know
ends.
what it is, but yes.
Yeah, but you can see like little hands, and in this movie you find out it's little Ewoks. It shows a little bit later on in that scene the Ewoks dragging him out of the closet, face down through a pile of fucking mirror shards and glass. And it's like he doesn't have a scratch on him when he like later on jumps out of a fucking window.
It's fine. You know what?
Yeah. It's not even from a plot hole. It's just he doesn't even have a scratch on him. It just, yeah.
So Reggie ends up in the kitchen because he has a shotgun, but he's misplaced his shells.
I keep my shotgun shells next to the little Debbie's and the fucking strawberry shortcake.
They're just never where you need them, you know? So Reggie cuts off the gas stove to blow up his own house, and Reggie then saves Mike while he's getting drugged through the glass, and they jump out the window. The upstairs window, mind you. And Reggie screams like Tarzan. Did you guys pick up on that?
He screams like Tarzan, and both of them, the way they fall out of the window, they're jumping like out of a second-story window, and they're going to land right on their fucking heads.
Right as Reggie and Mike hit the ground, Reggie's house blows to holy hell, and the tall man leaves with his creatures in his signature hearse.
So do they like ride in the hearse? Does he like pack them up?
Yeah, you know, puts them in a little box, puts them in the back, drives them around, feeds them McDonald's and shit. Liz now explains to us, through narration, that the tall man destroys towns and strips their graveyards in order to enslave the dead. Furthermore, we find out that she has a telepathic connection to Mike. Oh.
So he robs all these graveyards, the tall man, right? And he gets these full-size corpses. Huge corpses, tall man corpses. Why does he transform all of them into, like, dwarves?
He can carry him around and shit.
I guess it's more embarrassing to be short.
He can fit 3 to a coffin. It's all about like load management.
Yeah, you think about the fact that he is the tall man. No one else can be even remotely tall.
See, and the thing about them being on another planet, I don't think they even dive into that really.
Well, we will get there.
Okay. I mean, will we get there? Because I did not know that was a thing the entire movie. Even when they went to the other planet.
Will. This movie really answers all the questions possible that you might have.
It fucking makes me question so much.
Enter the new Mike, fumbling his way through a release speech from a psycho ward that somehow works.
It was confusing at one point because there's like a voiceover of him contradicting what he's saying out loud.
Talking to himself.
But it didn't play that way at first. I thought he was saying everything out loud. I was like, this is fucking weird.
I thought it was Reggie talking to him.
There is several
sense.
instances where you have three different voiceovers going on, and it's really hard to differentiate between who's talking.
Coscarelli was really using that budget to just make as much possible happen.
I don't feel like he really knew what to do with that kind of budget, like because that's the first time he'd really been given that much money to make a movie, right?
The last time.
Yeah, for a guy, it took 8 years to figure out you can start from the last movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not saying he did a bad job or anything, but I think it kind of shows the route the movie takes. Like it definitely becomes more about spectacle than the actual story, in my opinion, anyway.
It definitely hones in on those 80s, like big guns and big blood. So Mike goes immediately to a graveyard at night to dig up graves right after getting released from the psycho ward. That's what you're going to do. Reggie finds him and greets him with the great line of, "That story about me blowing up my house because it was infested with midgets, Mike, that wasn't real."
He said the M word, man.
He did.
Why'd you do it, Reggie?
Mike explains that he has a connection to Liz. He insists that he must find the tall man and kill him with the help of Reggie. Of course. If you're going to take down a tall mortician, you need a guy with a banging-ass skullet to come along with you. In the first movie, Reggie is the ice cream man.
What does he do? He give the tall man the wrong flavor or some shit and he gets mad?
He gets caught up with the family drama with the tall man, and then he becomes like Reggie.
So this is kind of like Kurt Warner working at the grocery store. Like you got a Pro Bowl star caliber quarterback bagging my groceries.
Next, we are introduced to a character all its own that appears in all 5 Phantasm films. The Black Plymouth Barracuda. It's a badass car, man.
Cuda.
Yeah, I feel like they spent most of the budget on the car. Honestly, it was nice.
The Hemi Cuda.
Next, we find out that Reggie's family dies in a house explosion. He joins Mike on his journey to kill the tall man in revenge.
He's screaming, "I gotta get him out! I gotta get him out!" Cut to the house blowing up, literally being blown off its fucking foundation, bro. What are you getting out, like ashes?
That shit cracked me up because he's like, "Your niece can't wait to meet you, man." He says, "Get the fuck out of there! It's gonna blow." This is all in the span of like 5 seconds.
So Reggie is joining Mike now on his journey to kill the tall man. And what do you do before you begin your journey? You break into a hardware store in order to find weapons to kill this sumbitch. And in this montage of finding weapons, Reggie welds together 2 double-barrel shotguns for a quad-barrel shotgun, and Mike builds a flamethrower out of 3 torches tied together.
What do they have, like shop class or some shit in the psych ward? How does this guy learn to do this stuff? Like he's literally been in, the nut house for the last 8-10 years.
These weapons are like out of a first-person shooter game. Like, who comes up with these things?
Quad Shotty, he definitely put that together really, really, really well and really quickly.
So we begin our journey to find the tall man. They follow the trail, which takes them from dead town to dead town. The 2 eventually stop at the latest town and scope out the local graveyard. I really enjoyed this scene. This is the scene where they walk across the empty graveyard with all the empty graves.
Yeah. Every time the camera pans up and shows like the empty graveyard, those are like really great scenes, in my opinion.
That's why I absolutely loved it. The scene was created like that by the set designer digging 6-inch graves and placing plastic tarps in each of the graves to create that deeper feel for the camera. I thought that was pretty cool.
It was very well executed. I mean, from a perspective of somebody who hasn't seen the movie before, it really looks like they dug 30 graves.
So a chainsaw wielded by Reggie is used to break into the boarded up mausoleum, and Mike is wearing a torch mask at all times.
Hey, you gotta protect yourself, kids. Another fun fact. Reggie did all of his own stunts for this entire movie, except for the jumping the chainsaw later on that we'll see in the movie. They wouldn't let him do that. But everything else, he did it.
Oh. Had to protect his nuts.
Yeah, something like that.
But the fact that he was able to see through a welding mask is pretty unbelievable, because you have like a little square opening in that thing.
Tunnel vision.
Hey, knights have done it for hundreds of years, man, with swords and them little slits in their helmets.
So Mike checks out one portion of the mausoleum where he finds a naked female body displayed in the embalming room.
Oh, baby!
Boobs and bush on the corpse. That would be nudity.
Red rum! Red rum!
That right there is the first set of titties we have seen in 4 movies.
And they're dead.
At last, my titties have come along. Yeah, they belong to a dead girl.
Nudity for the first time in 4 films.
Finally.
We finally made it.
All right, we're done podcasting now.
The wait is over, ladies and gentlemen.
3 grown men just waiting to see some nipples.
I have a timestamp for the exact moment where the breasts show up on the screen. However, I think I would feel like a creep if I were to give out that information. So just go check out our Reddit. I'll timestamp it on there for you. And
nice.
Yeah, we'll get you situated.
Moving right along, this dead corpse then disappears. Reggie finds a woman in the basement of the mausoleum, only to find out that she has a creature growing in her spine.
I absolutely loved the makeup effects right here. It was fantastic. It's about 35, 40 minutes into the movie before they show this, before this scene. And for that to just come up the way it did, I really did not expect much in the way of special effects at all. Because the movie doesn't really build it up like you're going to see anything like that. However, from this point on in the movie, you see quite a bit of really well put together special effects. The Strostrom guy I talked about, he's really got some chops.
It's a very cringeworthy scene. I do not enjoy rewatching that one scene. It really freaks me out.
I fucking loved it, man. The creature looked like something straight out of Nightmare on Elm Street. You play a good game, boy. If you want to find me, go east.
I really enjoy the thing talking to Mike. That was fun.
It's funny because all these creatures and stuff actually have more lines than the actual tall man.
Mike and Reggie turn their travels to the town of Perigord, where Liz is burying her dead grandfather. What happens next might possibly be the shortest funeral in history, with only 3 family members attending.
Shortest and the saddest. This guy, man, what did he do to make everybody so pissed off that no one would go to his funeral?
I feel like this is like BTK's funeral with his family. The funeral's priest is getting all boozed up and drives a dagger through the heart of the dead grandfather. As this is happening, old grandma walks in and she passes out.
I'm sorry, Father, but this sacrilege must end.
Even after watching this whole damn thing, I'm still kind of confused what the hell he was doing.
I didn't know what the hell he was doing. Because when he stabbed the dead grandpa, green shit come out. And I think they allude to the green stuff being like formaldehyde. But I don't know what... Is he anticipating the tall man to resurrect this guy into one of his little zombie minions? Is that why he stabbed him in the chest?
I think that's what we're supposed to be led to believe, yes. I was impressed that this guy was sitting down in a pew and then only moments later pulls like a 12-inch dagger out of his pants and just rams that thing into Grandpa's
Hey,
chest.
it's a ceremonial dagger. He had it's like the kind where you have a cross and then you pull the top of the cross and there's a dagger inside of it.
While this is going on, while Grandma's passed out, Liz walks around the mausoleum because, you gotta piss. And she sees a smoking coffin in the hallway of the mausoleum and is soon greeted by the tall man who drinks a mysterious yellow goo.
He greets her via jump scare, drops the hand on her shoulder. We get the...
Red rum! Red rum!
And we're not even halfway through this thing. We've already got 2. This is good news for Phantasm II.
We're doing it.
Next, Mike and Reggie pick up an all-too-familiar sexy hitchhiker named Alchemy on their way to Perigord.
Right during that scene, they go to, make a pit stop on the side of the road, and they're pissing on the side of the road. The guys, obviously not Alchemy. She's not out there taking a piss next to him. But the whole time that they're pissing next to each other, they're like sneaking little sneaky looks at each other's dicks back and forth, bro. Like, I guess being on the road that long and you start to feel a certain type of way,
Yeah, they're not even like standing shoulder to shoulder. They're like facing each other, like pissing on each other's boots.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're...
Reggie's dialogue, to your point with that weird eye connection, Reggie says a really strange line of, "Come on, Mike, it gets hard out here on the road."
While he's looking at his own dick. Yeah,
yeah, it's good. That's good wordplay.
You're thinking with the wrong head, Reg. Didn't his family just fucking explode?
Well, no, they're on the road for there's a while. I think they actually make a point of saying that they had been on the road for 6 months at that point.
But a small child just died in an explosion, and he's thinking with the wrong fucking head.
You gotta, man's got needs.
Time marches on, Chris.
Any port in a storm. You know what I mean?
Next, Liz is left with a greeting from the tall man to come get her grandmother, who has been taken by the tall man, and get her tonight at the mausoleum.
Get her tonight, I'm going to make her into a little elf slave.
Alchemy takes Mike and Reggie to her uncle's house in Perigord to stay, and the town is slowly, if not already, dead.
Because once they get to that damn B&B, she's like, I can't believe they abandoned this. Where the hell were they going to be getting customers? There was trash and cars all on the damn road, just sitting there.
She can't believe it.
Can't believe you leave this valuable fucking property behind.
Once inside the house, thanks again to the chainsaw, Reggie and Mike set a few Home Alone traps around the house. Liz enters the mausoleum to see the gravers bringing in a freshly dug up casket. Did you fellas like the Home Alone traps? I thought they were pretty awesome.
They were cracking me up. I was like, there's no fucking way they're not going to set those off when they come back.
Where the fuck did he get a hand grenade? Did he
buy
that next to the lumber and nails?
Every hardware, every Home Depot and Lowe's has hand grenade section.
Yeah, there's literally a hand grenade tied to a windowsill.
For some reason, the priest is at the mausoleum again when Liz goes to it. And we are introduced to another character of the film when the priest finds the tall man's shiny balls.
I like how they came out like a penis. There were the 2 balls that kind of popped out, and then the third one came out right in the middle. It's like a penis just saying, what's up,
That's the big boy. That's the big penis, big balls.
Old Donnie Boy got a higher budget. In the Phantasm I, he had 1 ball. In Phantasm II, we got 3 balls. The priest soon meets his fate by the chrome shiny ball, first cutting off his ear and then drilling right into his skull.
Yeah, those fucking balls are intense, man.
You think when you die, you go to heaven? You come to us.
But yeah, I like I was kind of on the fence up to this point, but when the damn balls came out, I was kind of starting to feel it at that point.
Yeah, it kind of tipped me in the green as well. The movie definitely picked up. The pacing, the pacing of the movie up to this point was actually okay, but this is where it's really starting to ramp everything. The balls really are super interesting. We need a standalone movie for these balls.
But these old man's balls.
Death balls.
Yeah, there's no fucking explanation for them. I'm not sure what they do or how they're programmed. It's just look at these fucking things. Oh, shit.
Is there anything in the first movie about the balls? I know they're a fan favorite, a hallmark of the movies, but there's really no explanation in the first movie about them.
They're just the big man's balls.
The ball is back.
There you go.
That was the tagline. The ball is back.
It was.
Great. Liz is soon attacked by her grandmother, who is now in the form of tall man little creature.
She really thought that was her fucking grandma.
Elizabeth. Hell damn, Granny, you a demon.
Why would you say, if a little, bright red creature was running at you, you wouldn't say, is that Grandma? So after Liz is attacked by what she believes is a grandmother, she runs into the graveyard. That's what we would all do when we're scared. To find Mike and Reggie, and they all go back to the bed and breakfast.
Ain't no breakfast, so how about we hit them sheets?
It's time for bedtime, and Liz and Mike go to their separate bed. Here, they commence to have telepathic sex.
Is that what that was?
Oh, I got a 14-inch dick, and it's going inside your really tight butt. Yeah, my 44E boobs are just bouncing everywhere. They're doing this the whole time, not saying a word, just looking at each other, deeply, intensely into their eyes.
It's a very strange scene where they realize they can talk to one another, and then as soon as they realize that, they have sex in their minds. And apparently Don, in the documentary, said that they had shot this elaborate, sex scene to where they're in different, a beach or on a hotel or in the sky. And they were just naked, moving places, having sex. And the studio cut it out because they said it was too hard to follow.
It's very, from what I can surmise, it's very Anchorman Ron Burgundy when they're on the unicorn and going through the sky and having sex.
That's definitely it. Yep.
This is definitely where they stole that idea from. Is Phantasm II.
Because he's like, oh look, there's a rainbow. Do me on it. There's no way he didn't get blue balls, dude. No way.
They're both laying flat on their back. Jeans. She's wearing a jean jacket. Nipples can't get through that.
I'm just saying. No one's achieving orgasm this way.
There's so much denim in that scene. So as Mike and Liz are having telepathic sex, Reggie and Alchemy are having actual sex.
Oh, yeah. They having the type of sex that I like.
Apparently, Alchemy is a bald lover because she is slapping his head very hard.
I didn't know that was
She's a freak.
Sadly, our sex scene gets interrupted by an explosion.
Symbolic.
As something triggers the grenade downstairs.
It's probably the telepathic fucking upstairs. Oh, shit. I gotta divert this energy somewhere.
And at this point, the team splits up with Mike and Reggie downstairs, and that leaves Liz alone upstairs.
Red rum! Red rum!
So here we have our third red rum card of splitting up. And here we have Liz being grabbed by the tall man through the window upstairs. Next, Mike and Reggie leave the house to save Liz and get caught up in a fast and furious car chase with the tall man, only to be driven off the road, which destroys the beautiful Barracuda. And I'm going to say red rum, technical difficulties.
Red rum! Red rum!
I got a red rum here as well. That's we're on the same page as seatbelt.
So now we're up to 4 red rum cards.
Oh, I'm tingling. I'm getting close.
So while Mike saves Reggie from the burning Cuda, the mortician is strapping Liz up to be placed in the incinerator. But he's emptying out the previous individual who was burned, which ends up being Mr. Sam Raimi, as he places the ashes in his bag.
You get it, Chris?
I got it.
Ash was put into a bag
Ashes.
labeled Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi and Ash.
Do you get it? You got it?
Ash, Bruce Campbell, Ash.
I appreciate the subtlety.
Yeah, apparently they were good friends, and Sam Raimi had visited the where they were shooting the movie several times.
So Reggie and Mike break into the mausoleum and learn that the chrome balls are actually keys to the tall man's dimension, which makes no sense.
Yeah, I did not understand how you put that together, but sure, you did.
To me, it looks like they went back in post and edited in the slits for the actual keyholes, because they're lopsided, not even at all. It looks like some shit you would do in Microsoft Paint.
So while Mike and Reggie find out the balls do have a purpose, Liz fights the mortician before he sends her into the incinerator. And instead, she sends the mortician into the incinerator.
Hit him with the gypsy switch.
Back to back, Liz gets chased by the other mortician, which gets a ball shoved in his hand against the door. To make a call to your Evil Dead comparison, another ball comes for that same mortician, and he chops off his hand.
Oh, yeah.
In a very quick motion to get away.
That hatchet is super sharp, because I think he hits it twice, and he's done.
It's off.
Yeah, it's off. Bone, tendons, muscle, off.
So the ball that actually took his hand, it like stops at that point. So they like programmed for like flesh, and then once they get it, they like shut down. Like they only have one target.
No. We saw earlier in the movie when the priest gets the ball to the noggin, it keeps going, but it's stuck. It can't get out.
Yeah.
Like it's literally embedded inside of him. And
apparently it pisses blood.
It pisses
That
blood.
did happen.
In this instance, I think it's just stuck in the door.
As this ball is chasing Mike and Liz, Reggie checks out the basement. He gets into a chainsaw fight with a grave robber, which quickly becomes a chainsaw measuring match.
This is my favorite scene of the entire movie. First of all, when he goes downstairs, the camera's panning down with his feet, and you can see the graver under the stairs waiting on him. I feel like that's almost a trope in itself in horror films is the amount of times you see the monster, under the stairs. But they're going into this chainsaw fight, and Reggie's got this little Poland chainsaw that's got like an 8-inch bar on it. And then this digger pulls out a fucking steel chainsaw with a 36-inch bar. It's fantastic.
What does he say? Come get it, you mother?
Come get it, you mother!
Yeah, this scene really sold me on Reggie. At this point, I was waffling, but this dude fucking killed it in this scene.
While Reggie is getting to a chainsaw measuring match with a graver, the mortician is back for Liz, of course, missing a hand. However, he is attacked yet again by the big shiny ball, which drags him all over the room from the floor, wall to ceiling, before chewing through his insides and getting caught in his mouth.
I love this fight. This was my fucking ball, dog. The blender ball is what I called this one. This son of a bitch was badass. Do they have different powers? Like each ball has like different abilities?
Well, I think this one, it was the gold ball. I think the gold ball had like heat vision or heat laser things because he burns through doors and shit.
So it was like an iPad Pro versus the iPad.
I was really impressed with the special effects to how they got that thing to activate in that dude's face.
Yeah, it was great.
We switch back to Reggie, who was in a tight spot, getting smacked around by the grave robber before ramming a chainsaw right through his crotch.
Chainsawing his dick off. His face when he did that was priceless, man.
His face this entire movie is like the best. I just love his reaction shots, man. They're so good.
And somewhere in there, he does jump over the chainsaw.
Yeah, he jumps over the chainsaw.
Reggie's pretty flexible. As the graver dies through chainsaw to the crotch, the tall man's little creatures come back for Reggie, who finally uses the quad shotgun only to throw it away.
We've been waiting this entire movie for him to use it. He uses it, downs 4 of the monster small people with one shot. And then just decides, hey, I don't need this anymore.
Exactly, man. You don't want to overuse it. It was like the perfect payoff. I was like, I don't need to see that again because that was fucking incredible.
Well, I guess it's kind of a callback, too, to his bandolier. His little shotgun shell and drill bit bandolier he was wearing was cut off with the chainsaw.
Well, less is more. They made the right decision with the quad shotty.
Yeah.
I mean, I would agree they made the right decision, but you don't have to throw the damn thing away. It's still a good quad shotgun.
I mean, the entire time before this, he's carrying it around unloaded anyway. He's like having to load it in between scenes, but he never shoots it. But I got interested in seeing if I could find one like that, and I went on Etsy, and I saw someone made a replica of it. Obviously not a functioning shotgun or anything. But, yeah, a guy had one on there. It looked pretty legit. $600.
Mike finally gets his hands on a shiny ball. Mike, Reggie, and Liz successfully open the tall man's door, and journey inside the white room with 2 big shiny rods. The tall man really likes shiny metal. I'll tell you that damn much. The tall man enters the white room and backhands Reggie across the face, sending him like across the room.
So effortless. Like, literally, it's like he's swatting a fly, dude.
And this sends Mike into the world of the tall man. And in the world of the tall man, like another little creature comes out and is like...
You know who that is, right?
The creature?
They actually have it, from what I could tell, it's Mike's brother from the first movie.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Because he actually says, like, Mike. Like, he's calling him by his name, and apparently, you know, not having seen the first one, but doing a little bit of reading on it and listening to some of the dialogue, it alludes to his brother being turned into a demon.
And that whole, like, planet or whatever the hell he was hanging on to was, like, it reminded me of, like, Beetlejuice or something.
It was like Mars or Mercury, but I know what you're saying, like, in terms of, like, its style.
A dreamscape, like, not even real, you know?
It looks like the home of, like, the sandworms.
Yeah.
From Beetlejuice.
Reggie is able to pull Mike out of the world of the tall man. The pair work their way back to our world and send a shiny ball right into the tall man's head for some serious blood-squirting action. As the ball enters the tall man's head, he pulls it out, and a little bitty arm pops out of his skull and goes after Mike. Quickly, Liz sends an embalming needle into the tall man's neck, and Reggie turns on the pump. The fluid burns through the tall man's body thanks to the acid previously added by Reggie, which destroys the tall man gruesomely.
Ding, ding, ding!
Red rum! Red rum!
I'm going to call that Carnage Candy. That's a 5-piece. If you go to KFC, that'll run you $9.
Phantasm II is giving us everything that we ever wanted out of a horror movie.
But wait, there's more!
So you might think that Phantasm II would end here, but you would be wrong. Alchemy shows up in the tall man's hearse, and the gang rides away, and we roll credits.
Happily ever after.
Or do we?
We should have.
Womp, womp, womp.
Alchemy shows Reggie her secret.
She got a dick.
She is really a dead corpse and attacks Reggie, leaving him for dead in a ditch.
Dude, she claws his face up something fierce.
Poor Reg, man.
Yeah, he got in a cat fight.
At least she didn't rip out the ponytail.
So I took that as Alchemy was the tall man.
You think it was like he had done with Elizabeth earlier in the movie? Like using her image, like puppeteering somebody around? I got you. That makes sense.
You know what? She may have been replaced prior to the first sex scene because she has a strange obsession with the shiny, bald head. And the tall man is all about those shiny balls. Coincidence? I think not.
As Reggie is thrown into a ditch, Mike and Liz are about to just ride off into the sunset when the hearse window comes down and we see the tall man back in his normal form. And he informs Mike and Liz that this is not a dream.
It's okay, Liz. It's just a dream. No, it's not. I repeat, the killer is not dead.
Red rum! Red rum!
Aim for the head. The killer is not dead.
This movie literally waited to the last second of the game to hit the 6-point shot for the red rum stamp.
The first time in horrible film school history, we have the red rum stamp of approval for Phantasm II.
Sound the horns. I kind of want to harken back to this scene right here before we go any further too. Jump scares. I know we didn't really cover it right here, but the whole very end of the movie where they get pulled out of the back window. Those kind of jump scares when the audience feels like a sense of safety and peace, and they feel like, oh, all right, it's going to be a happy ending. That's really a really good jump scare. Our very first stamp of approval, red rum stamped.
So this is going in the permanent curriculum. That's what we're going to establish. And this film's cool. This is required viewing now.
That just warms my heart that Phantasm II is required viewing. It
makes
such a good
me
movie.
fucking sick.
So with that wraps up the film of Phantasm II, which is now stamped of approval, a great horror film. Thanks to knocking out the bingo cards of Red Rum. With that, fellas, what piece of memorabilia from this memorabilia-ridden film would you want to take home?
It's not even close. The answer is the shotgun, the quad shotty. I mean, I think if all three of us don't pick this, there's something wrong with us.
As much as I did like the quad shotty, it had its one use. I think it's useless now. Give me the damn blender ball. That was my shit, man. Come at me with your damn shotgun. I'm coming at you with that blender ball.
Yeah, but I can put more shells after I unload it into your face. The blender ball gets stuck in your hand.
He turned a grown man into a damn protein shaker, dog.
He turned 4 grown small people into fucking goo. He didn't even aim. He just pointed in a general direction. Imagine if he
By
aimed.
the time you reload, my blender balls done come out of your ass and went back into your mouth. You'd have to have a really tight butthole to keep it in there, is all I'm saying.
Good thing I got a really tight
I'm
one.
going to sharpen it regularly, so it's going to rip right through that sphincter.
The ball seems to get stuck a lot, and therefore I didn't pick it. I picked probably one of the most badass weapons in horror film history, and that is a quad shotgun. So with that, let's move into some Rotten Tomatoes fan reviews, and these were interesting. Jonathan G. says, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. An army of midget zombies is not a good film.
Oh, shit.
Half star.
Wow,
half
that's
star.
less than 1.
What was this?
Is that the
fucker's
lowest
name?
you can give? Can you give like quarter stars?
No, you can't do 0. I don't think.
Ken T says, normally I'd say they could have stopped at the first one. But in this case, the whole franchise probably should not have been written at all.
Damn.
These movies were horrible. 1 star. Bill S says, really got weird toward the end. But up until then, not a bad sequel. 3 stars.
Okay. I got the complete fucking opposite take, but okay.
Yeah, I think it started weird.
Exactly.
This guy might have got to the theater late.
Maybe he watched this shit backwards.
And finally, Dave B says, one of those rare sequels that outdoes the original. More balls on a 4-barreled shotgun equals more fun. 5 stars. So we already know that Phantasm II hit all the Red Rum bingo cards. What are our final thoughts on this fantastic film?
First of all, I'd be lying if I said I really consider this a horror film. For me, it's more of a supernatural thriller than a true horror movie. Having not seen the original, I felt like it was kind of hard to get my bearings for the most part throughout the beginning of the movie. And I think anybody watching in the future, you definitely benefit from watching the original before you hop into Phantasm II. But I feel like you can say that about any sequel to any movie ever made. With all that said, I did enjoy the movie quite a bit more than I thought I would after watching the trailer. The trailer was definitely kind of a turnoff for me, but we powered through it, and I did enjoy it. But I'm a sucker for well-done special makeup effects, and this movie, it hits that box just right for me. Overall, it's a fun movie to watch. Pretty much, my advice, turn your brain off, enjoy the movie for what it is, a chase-style action movie masquerading as a horror film. A very surprising and warranted thumbs up from me.
Watching that initial trailer, kind of putting it in a part of my brain is just very tempered expectations, I guess. But again, about the same thing I had with Feast. About halfway through, I started to kind of get the rhythm, what was going on, and actually like caring about what the characters were doing, what was coming next. And in the last 30 minutes, from the moment the balls are introduced, I was freaking hooked, man. But up to that point, I did have a few moments of doubt. I was worried I wasn't going to enjoy myself, but I pushed through. It was great. I liked it. It was a lot of fun. I'll give it a thumbs up as well. But I'm not like itching to watch everything in this franchise. I will say that.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and cross my fingers and hope Phantasm 2 is the end-all, be-all for us.
I love Phantasm II. It is an incredible movie. and it is an awesome example of what the 80s was able to give us. Big guns, fast cars, bloody effects, and cheesy lines. This movie delivers on everything you wanted it to. Of course, the movie could have been better, but then again, it may have lost some of its charm. I give this film 2 thumbs up and encourage every listener to this show to watch this film or revisit our old friend, the Tall Man.
That was a pretty good review there, boy.
So how close were we, Chris, to the Rotten Tomatoes audience score for Phantasm II?
Alrighty, here. So here's a quick recap of our guesses based on that less than stellar trailer that we had to watch there. I myself guessed a 55% audience score. Hootie went with a 64, and Mr. Joseph guessed a 45. And the official audience score for Phantasm 2 on Rotten Tomatoes is 57%.
Come on, Congo. Come on, Congo. Fuck!
Puts me within 2 percentage points.
Well,
which
looks
means
like we'll be watching some Chris chosen movie
victory
next week.
I used my love for this film to give it too high a score.
So yeah, man, I'm pumped. Within 3 percentage points, that means I get to choose what we do next. We don't have to spin this dumbass wheel Joy likes to repeat about.
Well, don't keep us waiting.
Ooh.
What are you
The
gonna choose?
mind has been spun.
Well, I've been thinking about what I would pick if
Don't quit your day job.
I've been thinking about what I would pick if the opportunity arose, and I feel like we've been in the 80s here for the last couple, so I kind of want to keep riding it out. They seem to be
Go to the 90s for Congo.
they seem to be more fun than some of the modern serious stuff. So I'm going to stick with my birth year. We're still in 1988 here with Phantasm 2. So I came out that same year. Phantasm 2 came out that same year. And Child's Play came out that same year.
Oh, good God.
So I think it's
He done it to him, boys.
I think it's time we wrestle with our inner Chucky, boys.
I deem to wear the Bella.
Alrighty, folks, we're going to encourage you to hit the pause button here and watch along with us as we ingest this beautiful trailer. We're just going to watch the default trailer on the Child's Play IMDb.
Everyone has a birthday they'll always remember.
Can we open my presents now, Mommy? A good guy! I knew it!
I'm Chucky.
He's something, isn't he?
This is Andy's.
Jesus.
Take notes, Phantasm 2. That's how you do an explosion.
Why does it look like the set of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Alright, so we're going to take the time to guess the Rotten Tomato audience fan score for Child's Play 1988.
I'm going to give it a, let's say 70.
I'm going to go 81.
I'm feeling some people probably couldn't get past the size of the antagonist here. I'm going to say a 60.
Ooh, 60 even. All right.
All right, with that in mind, I'll go ahead and do everyone a favor and let you know where you can actually watch this film. Looks like it is available with an Amazon Prime Video subscription. So if you got Amazon Prime, you have access to this. But it looks like that is the only streaming service carrying it. So you can rent it from YouTube or any of those other places. Thank you for listening. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and us anywhere you get your podcasts. You also check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Links to those can be found on the website, HorrorBullFilmSchool.com. You can also reach us via email, HorribleFilmSchool@gmail.com. So do the subscribe, follow, review thing, spread the love, tell your friends, and tell any tall man you see. I'm going to use this sign-off to offer my support to taller-than-average folks that do not harass children and destroy entire communities. You are seen.
Check us out. Spread the love. Spread the campaign. Tell one person you know about the show. Please tell them one time. Tell them 5 times. I don't care. Get the word out. Watch Phantasm 2. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the tall man. Enjoy an old man yelling, "Boy!" And with that, I'm out.
All right. Once again, I want to thank everyone for listening. It means a lot that you took an hour out of your day to sit down or keep working or whatever you're doing and listen to us as background noise or whatever you're using us for. We really enjoy what we're doing, and we'd like to keep doing what we're doing. So we love any type of support, and we appreciate any type of support you can offer. We out. Night.